time.
Who's doing that? Okay.
Time.
It's me. I can't find anything.
Okay. What enough?
All right, is that better?
Not me. No, it's
It's the weather report for Wednesday, December 8th, 2021. Now, who is, it ain't you, is it this guy?
Yeah, it was me.
No.
It was me.
Okay.
Yeah,
Anyway.
I had the third one open and I couldn't find it to save my life.
I'm an angel. I know
there's
how to
only
do stuff.
There's only one button you need, and that's the mute button.
If you're Danny, it's the Leave Studio button.
Yeah, the Leave Studio button. Yeah. When he was on your stream the other night, he totally put me off, Danny, for life, I think.
I can't remember what he did.
Oh, it was enough. I just said, you know what? Fuck this kid. There's no hope. There's no hope. It was the straw, you know. There was just one more straw on that camel's back, and crack. I mean, I actually heard the cracking sound in my head. It's like crack.
Speed. What's today's date, and how many days old are you?
I am 25,904 days old, and it is December 8th.
Nice. Did you say good evening, buffaloes and bunnies yet?
No, I'm not going to.
Scott messed it up. I blame Scott.
Not that I messed it up. Oh, because of the
echo.
Too many weather reports open.
Yeah.
Echo.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Anyway, I'm going to take the day off tomorrow, too. I took the day off yesterday. So
I noticed that. I had a long drive ahead of me last night, and I was looking forward to listening to the weather report, but it didn't happen.
Oh, shucks.
Yeah, I'm being for real. I thought of all the times this guy decides not to stream on a weekday, it's today on this long drive.
Gur, have you ever considered paying me?
Nope.
I respond to that. I will respond to money.
Will you take dog food as payment?
For the not anymore. The raccoons finally went to sleep.
Oh.
They finally took off.
Oh. Well, that's sad, isn't it?
No, that's a fucking relief.
So, you mean the raccoons left? I mean, they've abandoned their nest?
They're sleeping. They're hibernating.
So you mean for they hibernate during the winter? Are you talking about they're just asleep for today?
No, they're hibernating.
Oh, I didn't know they hibernated.
I didn't know that either.
They only come out when it's 30 and above, and then they'll pop out to get.
That's why I've never seen experienced raccoons hibernating, because it doesn't normally get below 30 in Arkansas. I mean, it will, but not for very long.
Yeah, they only go to sleep and they just drop their metabolism down and they curl up. They're exactly like bears. Bears don't really hibernate; they just drop their metabolism. My uncle used to tell me that if you think bears hibernate, go and find one of those big snow piles in the woods that are kind of melted on top, and go kick it. You'll find out that they don't hibernate.
Isn't it crazy that we don't hibernate? I'm glad that's not a thing.
Well, what the fuck would that do to the economy and everything? We everybody'd be busy shutting things down and putting boards on their windows and all kinds.
Well, there would be a very expensive pre-hibernation economy.
It'd be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, we could definitely find a way to do it because we would adapt. But yeah, that's just weird thought I had when you said hibernation.
Well, that might be a solution to the carbon footprint problem. We'll just hibernate from November until fucking March.
That would be a good idea for a movie where governments around the world say, okay, we're going to put everyone in hibernation mode. Everybody will wake up 100 years from now or 500 years from now, whatever. But in the middle of that, something goes wrong. And only one man can stop them.
There you go. There's the template for an action movie right there.
Yep, that's $1 million hit.
Right boy, or something like that.
Call it the Cold Boys. Sorry, go ahead, Speed.
Did you check into that black box thing in Tasmania that Colbert was talking about? They created a black box to gather all the climate data and tweets and all sorts of social media, and it won't run out of storage for another 50 years. And the reason they're doing it is that so that future civilizations can figure out how we fucked ourselves.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's very interesting. And it's pretty dark, isn't it? Is that a little dark?
That is kind of dark.
It is, but unfortunately, it's pretty realistic. Because I could just see future civilizations maybe that have evolved from what we are, being a little bit more intelligent and reading our stuff and thinking, wow, these people were stupid.
It's Earth's black box.
Earth was getting screwed over, but they did nothing.
Yeah.
So back to the hibernation
thing. Up the thumbnail today, and what's up with Charbone?
Charbone? That's where the word carbon came from.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know that?
I did not know that. So it's from charred bone.
I learned something.
Well, actually, I don't think so. Carbon, the word roots are burning coal. So it's like burning coal. That's a Latin root. But this Lavoisier, he was kind of a chemist, alchemist back in the day. And he came up with carbon. He named it, but I think he called it charbone at first, which struck me as charbone. That sounds like carbon. I don't know. Anyway, that's what carbon's about.
Oh yeah, and back to that hibernation thing. Like, how are we gonna do it for space exploration? Because we got long trips to things out there. we
should send raccoons. Right?
Space raccoons.
Man, I wish we could go ahead and conquer the stars by now.
Oh, fuck.
I think going to other planets.
Hasn't been 100 years.
Other planets. I think that is just such a cool idea.
So, Gur, I think we should first figure out how to conquer Earth, because we sure as fuck haven't done a good job of that. Before we start fucking up the stars in heaven, you know?
We're already littering the way to get out.
What we do is we take all the anti-vaxxers and we ship them to the moon.
If we got out there and found...
wait. No, we take all the anti-vaxxers. We take all the anti-vaxxers and ship them to the sun.
Yeah. Well, that's like Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. They took all of the marketing consultants and lawyers and all the salespeople and all the people we didn't want. And they put them on a ship and convinced them that the Earth was going to blow up and they had to hurry and get off the Earth. And then we just sent them off in space. That was one of the themes in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I don't know if it was in the movie or not, but it was in the books. But anyway,
the whole planet at the beginning of it.
I never read the book.
Spoilers.
Oh, the books are much better. The movie sucked, especially the remake, the one that they recently did. The British series was pretty good. It kind of followed the flavor of the books, but the movie just didn't catch it at all.
Yeah, recent as in 20 years ago.
What's that?
Recent as in 20 years ago.
I still didn't catch you, Topdawg.
Recent, the movie is recent as in 20 years ago?
God, it's been that long already since it didn't hit the... God damn, I guess it has been. Time flies. Yep, they haven't done a really good remake of it. They haven't done a good job, but the books are hilarious. They're just really great. But anyway, this planet, it's another planet. It's not Earth. They send all their marketing consultants and phone cleaners or phone sanitizers and a bunch of other people that, we just don't need. Yoga instructors and all that shit. And they put them on a ship and it crash lands into another planet, which happens to be Earth. And so they're basically our ancestors. These idiots that another planet didn't want. I think that's how it went. Anyway, it was pretty good.
Yeah. So that's in the book, you said?
Yeah.
Because that's not in the movie, which I know they have to cut out a lot of stuff from the books.
Yeah.
Which is usually why books are better than the movies.
Marvin the Depressed Robot was so much better done in the book. He was just great. I mean, he reminds me of so many friends I have and relatives. Just like
he reminds me of me whenever I do a stream.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's doing some menial job and he says, "Here I am, brain the size of a planet, and they've got me cleaning toilets or some fucking thing." And it's like, I don't know. It's fucking cool.
Anyway. He's kind of like a robot Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Pretty good. Wonder Theory, what the hell is that?
Why? How come you've been taking days off of the weather report, Speed Boy?
I've been learning how to use other people's software, which is something for a programmer. That's like cleaning toilets.
Are you learning it to improve your streams or to spice up your channel?
Yes.
Or just for yourself?
Yeah.
I need to do
learning
the same
how to
thing.
use editing software of various kinds. So
I use iMovie. That's about as high tech as I get.
I found something better.
Oh, I'm sure there's a lot of better options out there.
Yeah. I tried like 5 or 6 different things that were either free, and I actually, and while they were free for 7 days, I actually bought a couple, and they sucked worse. I mean, iMovie was far better than them.
Oh wow!
And so then I finally found one that I like better than iMovie. So,
which one is it, if you don't mind me asking?
It's a secret.
Oh, is it now? Well, that's rude.
I'll tell you backstage.
Okay.
Does Adobe?
Works. Nope. Vegas Studios.
Adobe costs too much.
And I'm just saying, is Adobe like one of the highest quality ones, or?
I don't know.
I hear more about Adobe than any other software editing program.
You know more about Adobe?
No. I just hear more about Adobe than anything else.
I thought I'm suspecting it's a lot harder to use than it should be. So I don't know.
Yeah, I messed around with Vegas Studios, I think was the name. This was years ago before I started my regular channel, and that was kind of a learning curve, if I remember correctly. But now that really, once you learn one editing software, usually it's you can kind of find your way a little bit easier with another one. Although it's hard to break old habits, because when you're used to one particular program, you know where all the clicks are, where all the buttons are, you know what you're going to do. When it's a new one, you kind of have to relearn it. But it's usually not too bad.
Yeah, I can't remember what it was named, but there was a really good graphics editing program that run on Windows, and it was just really easy to use, and I learned everything I needed to know. And then they decided to make it just like Photoshop. They changed everything, and I could never use it again. It was useless. It was fucking useless. I don't know.
I almost bought Photoshop one time, but decided not to. I forget what I use now. I think it's
GIMP.
What is it called? Let me see here. See if I can find it.
GIMP ain't bad. I've been learning to use GIMP too finally, because it's free.
Yeah, I like free. Oh, Photoscape X is what I use for my thumbnails. How I make my thumbnails.
God, I can't remember that software. I used it for years and years, and I forgot the name of it. Oh well, who cares?
One of my favorite parts about creating content is working on thumbnails. To me, that's like my favorite part.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I just like that sort of thing.
I just grab them off pictures somewhere. Like I grabbed a lump of charcoal for my Charbone thing.
Well, and the funnest thing for me to do on GUR streams is make titles but the funnest part to do on Germania is do thumbnails.
Yeah.
I use Microsoft Paint. Comes with the computer.
Hey, that works. That works. I'm thinking about upgrading to a desktop so that way I can actually share my screen. Because when I share my screen on my little MacBook, it's just too much bandwidth or something, and it's not very good.
What kind of MacBook you got? You got a Pro?
No, it's just a regular MacBook. I think I bought it refurbished. I think it's a 2013 model, I think. But I like it. I've had it now for about 5 years, and it's never given me any issues. Well, I can't say the same thing about PC. I had what is it called? Toshiba? I forget what it's called. Toshiba? What's the name of that damn laptop? Toshiba's. Hold on. This is going to bug me. Toshiba's. I think that was it. I had two.
Toshiba, yeah.
Yeah.
Toshiba? Toshiba?
Toshiba. I had two of those, and both of them died. I bought one. It died probably after a year. The second one, pretty much the same thing. It was probably 2 years later. So finally I said, screw this. I am going with Mac. Yeah, Toshiba. Thank you, Kevin.
You're not supposed to tie a rope to them and like swing them around or anything. Is that what you were doing for them to be dead after a year?
That's classified information.
Oh, okay.
I can't share.
All right. You don't stand on them to like reach that top shelf or whatever. So that may be the reason. I don't know. What do you do to your computers?
It's probably what I don't do with them that messes them up. But this one's lasted. So what are we looking at here? Molecules?
Yeah. What do you guys?
Looks like worm molecules.
What do you guys see when you see this stuff? What do you see? Does your brain
shut
down?
Caterpillars. I see 4 caterpillars. And then somebody made one of those little text pictures of each caterpillar with O's and C's and H's.
Yeah, it's to help you draw it. Like in kids' books, you start with the 1, then you draw over to the 2, then you draw over to the 3. That's what it reminds me of.
Well, there's a kind of chemistry that I think all atheists who deal in evolution need to know, and I call it structural organic chemistry, and it's the simplest thing to learn. It really isn't that difficult. But I'm just wondering how these things look to you. I mean, do you like does your brain tend to shut down when you see these things?
Well, had I more recently taken any kind of chemistry class that even, summarized organic chemistry, I might be able to tell you more, but you see those little chunks of CH2.
Yeah.
And when they repeat like that, and then suddenly there's a carbon there with a hydrogen attached to it, that it's probably filling some electron space there a little bit differently.
Yeah.
But how it works, obviously I'm not any kind of experienced person when it comes to organic chemistry.
So what these
I do notice they must be of the same kind of class or something, because they all end with ATE.
Yeah, they're called fatty acids, and if you want to understand cell membranes, what we're made of, these fatty acids are a really important part, but they're fairly simple. And then have you ever seen, let's see, that? Like, you see the top one, how it changed?
Wait, go back.
Go back?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I see it.
Yeah. You see what we did here? So you'll see a lot of carbon structures that just have the lines, right? And they're like, what the fuck those lines mean? Well, if I go back again, you can see what the lines mean. That at the vertex of each of those lines, there is a carbon. And there are also some hydrogens, but we don't like the hydrogens because hydrogens are like second-class citizens, so we just ignore them.
They're a bunch of dandies.
So what's oxygen then? You do have some oxygen.
Oh yeah, and you see in the next one, okay, we show the carbon with the oxygens on it, right? And we don't show the carbons for any of those other little points. And all that means there's a whole bunch of carbons there, right? Whole shitload of carbons. So anyway, so that's what those little stick models mean. Now, a mistake people make sometimes is, well, it's hard to explain here, but you see that last carbon on the right, that last little line, there's a carbon at the end of that.
Mm-hmm.
And then if on the left, if say that was oxygen instead, that carbon up there, we'd put the O there and there would not be a carbon there. So we wouldn't count that one. So you'd count there's 15 carbon or 16 carbons, I think, in this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 carbons. So
great. That's great production there. Listen to somebody count carbons.
Oh yeah. Well, you gotta fucking count the carbons, man. Anyway.
Sorry.
Anyway.
I count calories and watch carbons.
What? You count calories?
And watch carbons.
Oh, I see.
I'll go back to my cave now. Thank you.
Yeah, go. Yeah,
for all tuning in. Tip your bartenders.
Yeah, you can just shut up now. Anyway, so the thing about carbon, if you have a carbon, right? Can you see that?
Mm-hmm.
There's a carbon. Can you see my carbon? Can anybody see my carbon?
You talking about the little red half circle?
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, I see your carbon there.
That's a C, right?
I see your C.
Now the thing is that the C always has 4 little valence bonds coming out of it, right? And
of course,
oftentimes those valence bonds will be attached to hydrogen, right? And when you have 4 of them attached to one carbon, you have methane. So this is methane. And that actually comes from, what the fuck was it? Oh shit. Wood wine is where there's a like Latin words, meth means wood and ile means the other part of it means wine. So it means wood wine. Yeah, but I forgot my H on my methane. So that's methane gas. Okay, that's probably the simplest carbon compound you can have, right? And the reason it's named wood wine is because there are other things you can attach to carbon, like oxygen.
Delicious.
Okay, but oxygen likes to have 2 things attached to it, so it has a hydrogen. And what this is methyl alcohol. Okay. So that's methyl alcohol, and they often make an alcohol look like that, ROH. I can tell you why later, but it'll confuse you now. So anyway, methyl alcohol is wood alcohol. That's what you get when you distill wood. So, but there's other things you can do with carbon. I mean, these are like Legos, and all. Okay. And every time you see one of these structures. So anyway, that's your CH3 at the end, right? You see the CH3. Mm-hmm. Now I can attach it to another carbon over here, but then I got to have more hydrogens because carbon likes to have 4 things attached to it. Right. So one of them is a carbon. So what that is ethane. So ethane. And if I do this and I put a oxygen there and an H, then this is the shit that Gurr likes to drink when he's on stream. This is ethanol.
That's what I'm talking about.
This is ethanol. So that's ethyl alcohol. So, but you can just keep going. And what happened here is, well, I can show you something else too. Okay, if we take and get rid of one of these and one of these. So,
someone just paid you quite a compliment, Speed.
What?
Read your screen.
Moonshine Baby?
No,
Speed is so wrong.
The screen right in front of your face.
Oh, okay. Oh, that screen.
What screen are you looking at?
You see, that's why I never got a PhD. That's why I never got a PhD, because I never read the screen. So anyway, you'll notice I took away two hydrogens, right? Okay. And now I'm going to replace it with one oxygen. And oxygen likes to have two things attached to it. So I have two lines. So the carbon is like doubly hooked up to this oxygen. Okay. And you know what that is? That's acetic acid or vinegar. Ooh. So this is vinegar.
I was totally going to say that.
Okay.
No.
Good.
I'm just kidding.
Were you?
Don't believe me. I'm full of lies.
Right. So that's vinegar. But now, if we go ahead and remove this right here, and we attach another carbon here with two H's, right? And we attach another one here, and another one there, and another one there, and we put H's on all of those, and this is a CH3, you're going to end up with a fatty acid, which is kind of like vinegar. So anyway, so you just keep going that way for 16 carbons, and you end up with that, let's see, which one was it? That was palmitate. And if you read your shampoo labels, you'll find palmitate or palmic acid or some fucking thing on it. But they use these fatty acids to make soap, to make shampoos and conditioners. And if you start reading them, you'll find something called oleate or linoleate or laurate or one of those, and they all refer to fatty acids. But fatty acids are just basically vinegars with a lot of alkenes on the end of them, right?
Interesting.
Or with a lot of carbons on the end of them. And now,
when I think of shampoo, I definitely don't think of vinegar.
Yeah.
When you think of wine, though, wine that's gone bad.
Oh yeah.
If it's oxidized, it turns into vinegar, and that's how it does it.
I actually did know that part.
Okay. So
I've heard tell.
Yep.
See, I know things.
So then, if we have 4 of these things, right, and we have a double O and an OH, we have something called butyric acid. And butyric acid is the smelly stuff when your butter goes rancid. If you leave your butter out on the counter for 2 or 3 years, as we often do, no, actually, butter doesn't last more than 2 days around here. But if we did, it would turn into butyric acid, and that's what butyric acid looks like. But if you get rid of these oxygens, and I go back to the hydrogens right here, right? Then I have something called butane. And if you remember, do they still have butane lighters? I believe they do, right? I haven't smoked for so long, I have no idea. But anyway, that's butane. And if we get rid of one of those and replace that with a C, we have propane. Okay. If we get rid of this OH up here, or this H, and put an OH there, we have isopropyl alcohol, which is rubbing alcohol. So anyway, it's all connected. So
obviously, it was created by an intelligent agent.
Obviously. So we could draw.
Well, Legos were created by intelligent agents, and very spiteful agents too. Actually, whenever you've stepped on one.
We could draw butane like this, like I did on the bottom, or propane would be like this, or ethane would be like this, meaning there's 2 carbons, 1, 2, 3 carbons, 1, 2, 3, 4 carbons, right? And if you do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, you have octane, which is just 8 carbons, filled with hydrogens. And then another way to write that, on the end, you have to have a CH3, right? So we have 3 H's on the end, right? And in the middle, we have CH2, and then CH2, and then on and on and on, and then CH3 at the end. So we have 6 CH2s and 2 CH3s, and that's octane. And if you've heard of an octane rating, basically octane burns way too fast, so it makes your engine knock.
Huh.
So another thing you can do with carbon chains is this. You can go like that, and it'll shut up here as soon as I show you this. You can also stick another carbon up here and have that have CH or H's on it, right? So now you can have all kinds of branching. So these are branched carbons, okay? And those burn slower and hence work better in your engine. So it's a good idea to have branched carbons. You'll have a higher octane rating, and I don't know why they reverse it, and I don't know how they calculate it, and I could be wrong about something here, but I'm pretty sure that they compare it to how heptane burns, and that is 7 carbons. And then octane is usually, it's more branched. You'll have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that would be an octane because it's got 8 carbon atoms, right? But they're branched, and so it's going to burn slower. It's going to be better for your car. It's going to make your engine not knock. Anyway, so this is just all
the universe. Real quick, is it, besides hydrogen, isn't carbon just kind of in the universe as a whole more common than other elements?
I think it's actually pretty. I don't know what the percentage is, but it isn't as great as I would like it to be. It's not as much as I thought.
Hey,
I'm not entirely sure.
Ox, that's tomorrow night, not tonight. Get it right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But he's not denying getting fancied up for it. Did you notice that? He's just correcting us on the time, not on the fancification.
Yeah, I'm getting fancied up by being here tonight with y'all, with you beautiful people.
So you're going to be on Bread tomorrow night?
She's coming to my channel tomorrow night.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Hey, make sure you vacuum in the corners real close because ladies notice that kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and make sure you don't have your usual guests.
Oh, no. It's a closed room. It's just me and her.
Yeah. Don't invite Will and
no,
Smokey and Danny and don't do that.
No.
Please.
No, I don't just speaking of her and I.
So speaking of Bread of Life, I have a video with from yesterday's stream that she did with Sai. She answered my question, or Sai does too.
Yeah, you want to play that part for us?
Yep.
Seeing as how we have nothing, because I thought I was curious. Let's make you full screen.
Okay, playing.
Topdawg says, when a person thinks supernatural things happen, is it a gap in their understanding of real life?
I do not believe so, because I don't think that real life excludes the supernatural.
What?
What we
what kind of? Never mind.
Call supernatural.
Huh?
Let him elaborate.
Okay.
Now, you have to realize that the definition of supernatural continually changes, okay? Imagine we're suddenly 200 years ago, let's say 300 years ago, or even 200 years, and I go to the wall and I touch a switch and light comes on. That's supernatural, right? I mean, how do I get light without lighting a candle? That's supernatural. Now it isn't. Now it's electricity, okay? And on and on. There's so many thousands of examples of what used to be considered supernatural, which we now take for granted. That's what we're doing right.
Because, he just disproved himself, because he's basically saying all these things that we thought were supernatural, come to find out are not supernatural, but rather natural. That's kind of our thing.
The whole reason why I asked the question, to see how
we caught that he's actually agreeing with Topdawg, but he's kind of leaving it open, like saying that there are supernatural things today that in 100 years we're going to understand where they came from, but now we'd call them supernatural. I think that was Sai's point. But the way he put it, he was almost agreeing with Topdawg.
Yeah.
That, we used to think
I called it. We're on to you, Cy.
We're on to Cy. Yeah. But anyway, I think
double down.
Cy makes me sigh.
Yeah. Cy thinks that experiences that he's had in his mind as a result of becoming a believer are supernatural, and that there was some sort of God intervention. And there are a lot of people that believe that way. They'll find Jesus, and all of a sudden they start having dreams, or they start feeling certain emotions, or having experiences, or they'll see some synchronicity in the universe, and they will keep attributing that to their current belief. And what they don't understand is that shit would happen to you anyway without the belief.
Minor details.
Minor detail, right. Yeah.
And
now
later,
what did Germania say you're not supposed to tell Speed?
Nothing. Paul was saying that I was stealing guests since I have Rebecca coming onto my channel tomorrow.
Oh.
So I said, shh, don't tell Speed.
Yeah, you are. I knew about it, and forces have been dispatched. Trust me.
Hold on, I think the police are at my door. I'll be right back.
Oh, you wish they were the police.
It's the KGB.
Yeah. You think the police don't have rules? Wait till you meet my people.
My people will be in contact with your people.
Yep.
Is there more to this clip?
Yeah, later I think he doubles down on saying that it's a gap in our knowledge. The supernatural is a gap in our knowledge, or individual knowledge.
Yeah, you want to go further?
Yeah.
Now, okay, this was supernatural when I was a kid, or even when I was a young adult. And look at us, we're talking to each other in real time on screens. And
wait.
Magic.
How old is Cy? Is he saying that light switches were supernatural when he was a kid?
You got competition, Speed.
Go on. Go on.
Computers and things. So, yeah, what is supernatural? No, God is supernatural and probably always will be, but there are other parts of life that we now think of as supernatural, which later we'll define as natural. So, and one can define God as natural.
It's kind of awkward. Can anybody speculate what things that are now considered supernatural will we have naturalistic explanations for later?
Exactly.
Now
that would be the question to ask him.
Yeah, because
it's an individual.
It's a good question.
Understanding of real life.
So to me, differential equations are supernatural because I don't know them right now, or I don't understand them. Of course, that's not a thing. I don't know. It's just kind of weird the way he's putting it in terms of individual knowledge and in terms of now in modern times, what is considered, what's that word, considered supernatural?
Yeah, I was born in 1951, and I can't think of one goddamn thing back then that we thought was supernatural that we discovered with science now. Not one thing.
When I was a kid, like, 4 years old or something like that, I had a perfectly rational explanation as to why I could hear human voices coming out of those little boxes that mom and dad, had set in the corner with the little knobs on it. And that was because little people were inside of it telling us what was happening and then also singing to us. But that was not a supernatural explanation even then.
I feel like he is saying that we shouldn't call things supernatural, which I think most of us here all agree with. Yeah, we don't call a thing supernatural just because you don't understand it.
Yeah, I agree with that notion there, Gura. But and what Cy seems to be saying amounts to that, but I don't think he gets that what he's saying amounts to that.
Yeah. I don't think he's quite understanding what he's putting out there in this little segment.
He's just going back and forth in his thought processes to keep his belief and kind of thing.
I'm glad you asked that question to him, Shadic.
That was a good question.
Okay, Stephanie, he is not a grumpy old man. He's a very peaceful, very, very mellow guy. He's not grumpy at all. So anyway,
he doesn't seem grumpy.
No, he's a really neat guy to talk to. He's an excellent person. He reminds me of Rebecca. So anyway,
ready for a few more seconds?
Yeah.
It is natural. So and you know, one can define God as natural too. It's kind of awkward to do that because then things get very messy. You know, I prefer not to do that. But I don't think you can rule out the supernatural of any kind because the next thing you know, it's now accepted into naturalism.
Like what? What?
That's the end.
There's just so much there to address. One, he seems to be agreeing with us, whether he knows it or not, intentional or not, that just because something seems supernatural, it doesn't mean it's supernatural. Like, just because we don't understand a thing, it just means we currently don't understand a thing or how any given thing works. So I would agree with all of that. So I don't see. So it sounds to me like he's saying that there is nothing supernatural, and that even defining God as supernatural may not be pivotal, I guess.
Yeah.
Which I would like to understand that a little bit further, but yeah.
By the way, everybody go check out Topdawg's site so he quits advertising on my channel. No, that's okay, Topdawg. It's fine for you to advertise it on this channel. So anyway, that was just a joke. But
or was it?
I know.
Or was it?
Gur has a brain. Yes, I have a brain. Or do I? I
was thinking of other people, actually. If my mom walked into the room right now and I stood up and I could still see her and I couldn't see through her, and she walked in, she'd been dead for a while, and she said, "Mikey, when are you going to get a real job?" That's all she ever used to say to me, because I was a computer consultant. She didn't think it was a real job. Anyway, if that happened and I could walk around her, right, and she had a back and a front and everything, and she, you know, and she, well, even if I could see through her, as long as, you know, she was just there persistently, and I would know the difference between that and the hallucination, because I have had real hallucinations, and I do know how to tell the difference between that and something that actually happens to me. Then I would believe, oh, supernatural things do happen. Ghosts come back. I would change my entire worldview. I'd probably pick up the Quran or some fucking, Wiccan book or something and start, studying shit like that.
It kind of reminds me of that question. If you were shown that Christianity was true, would you become a Christian?
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I wouldn't like it, but
no, I wouldn't like it at all.
I can't help what I'm convinced of and what I'm not convinced of. If I'm convinced that Christianity is true, I will say, well, shit. Okay, it's true. I better. Now, whether I'd want to be a Christian is another thing entirely, but yeah.
Being convinced it's true doesn't mean it's always true either.
Oh, yes, I know. But just for the sake of the argument, if it was true and I was convinced of it, I would have no choice but to believe in it. Now, following it, I guess I would follow it because I don't want to burn forever. But that would be out of survival instinct and nothing else.
That would be going along with the mafia.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. That's
a nice life you got there. I'd hate to lose it forever in eternity by burning.
The thing is, I think I did the probability right that if Christianity is true and you want to see your loved ones again, there's a 75% chance that one or both of you are going to hell, only a 25% chance that you're going to see them in heaven. So if you really want to see them again, you should probably worship Satan.
All right, I'm convinced.
Okay. I mean, if you want to make the bet, if it's important to you to, see Grandpa.
If you purely need to go by the odds.
Hey, yeah. I need a virgin to sacrifice to Satan. So, Ox, what are you doing later?
Yeah. There you go.
They said that Guerrero said earlier that that's the only reason why he wants to come in today and be on the panel is so he can insult Ox.
Good.
Ox started it.
Was Ox the one that came up with the atheism is normal where I live? That one? Was that Ox?
No, I think you're thinking of Randolph.
No. Randolph was on the stream and he read it. And I think Ox said it. Atheism is so normal where I live. I could run down the street naked, screaming that I'm an atheist, and the only thing they would notice is how big my dick is.
Oh yeah, that sounds like something else would say.
That was somebody else, though.
Was that somebody else?
I don't remember who it was, but I don't think they come to our side chat very often.
No, we got to give credit where credit's due. We got to find that person. So I'm gonna have to go review chats. So I don't want to fuck anything up. But yeah, if I saw something really, truly supernatural happen, like my older brothers and sisters, there was this story that they saw Abraham Lincoln walk into this hayloft, and basically he was dressed, with a top hat and everything during one of my mom and dad's drunken parties. And when I asked them about it as adults, none of them remember it. But I swear they told me about it when I was a little kid, right? And I thought that was, a ghost sighting, right? They saw a ghost. Why in the fuck don't they remember it now? I just could never figure that out. Probably because it didn't happen.
Okay. This is random, but still pertaining to the conversation. My Christmas lights behind me just fell, and it scared the shit out of me. And we're talking about ghosts.
I heard them fall.
You're a believer now.
I thought somebody was like trying to come through the window or something.
And it's nighttime where you're at, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so there you go. It's night. Things move and bump in the night, and it must be a ghost.
This happened time. This happened one time on my streams recently. We were talking about the paranormal and ghosts and whatnot, and then I was like, "I'll be right back," because I heard talking in coming from my bedroom, and there was nobody here at the time. And I go back there and the radio was on. I was like, oh, okay. I guess I forget to turn this off.
That's how paranoia works.
Radio, and I don't know how long. But anyway, yeah, that would be scary. Somebody turned that radio on. Ooh.
Yeah, something in your head, and then you're more aware of things, and then you're looking for it.
Right, yes, agreed. The thing about, if I were to see a ghost, like I saw with my own eyes, this transparent plasma looking thing, something that looks like a deity or some sort of being.
And stayed there.
Yeah. I would think either I'm going crazy, maybe I'm having some sort of weird episode that I've never had before. I would consider those explanations to be a little bit better than, well, it's a dead loved one, or it's some other, I don't know, material supernatural thing.
Can you move around and get different angles and get touch it and anything, so then you can get better understanding of what you're actually seeing?
Well, that would be a good step. Although I'd probably run away. I'd be like, nope.
Yeah, I'd feel like a little girl, and I would just run away. There would be a Scott King-size hole in every wall between me and my car.
It'd be like the
Roadrunner. That's why you're scared of it. But if you had a rational mind, you would investigate and find out what's really going on.
Now, I have one time my parents told me, I was hanging out with a friend of mine, and my parents said, "Hey, Gur, we saw what we think might be a demon up the road." And I was thinking, and at the time I was a Christian, but I was still like, I don't know, that sounds weird.
And what do they mean by demon?
Well, they mean it in the Christian sense. Well, they
a version of it. I mean,
they explained it to me like this: it was this black, silky thing that hovered across the road. And I go over there, and to make matters worse for the psychology or the psychology of it was, this happened at a graveyard that my parents used to live pretty close to. And right across the street was this house that we always kind of shunned because they would have dragons on their mailbox and things like that. Just really silly stuff. And so me and my friend, I said, well, let's go over there and check it out. And we go over there, and all we found was this silky black dog that was roaming across the area. And so I concluded that's more than likely what it was, not a demon or a ghost or whatever.
Because they couldn't see in the lighting, it wasn't there for their to get a grasp of what's going on. So
and it was probably
to go to what.
If it's dark and you're looking at something and it's black and shadowy, even if it has lighted up eyes or whatever, or if it's white and shimmery, chances are it's a trick of the light or it's your eyes playing tricks on you, which I guess are both the same thing, than something corporeal and real.
Well, and another thing to consider is if you see a ghost, that means that ghost has some form of matter to reflect the photons off of that go to your eye and then make your brain produce an image.
Yep.
So I think people who believe in ghosts don't really consider all the technical difficulties that you'd have to accept with that belief. Yeah. And then if it can touch stuff, if it can, move a chair or move a bottle off the shelf, then that means it must have some sort of physical contact. And if that's the case, how's it going in and out of the house? How's it is it subject to gravity?
Can you rule out the stuff we already know, like wind and magnets and gravity?
What really kills me is when they walk through walls, yet they can stand on the earth or the floor, right?
Right.
Like they don't fall through the floor. It's like ghosts be fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're moving into space too. Or how many miles we're going through the galaxy and around the sun.
Right.
And then we're rotating.
Well, another
thing. How they handle if they can go through walls.
This picture I have up. This picture I have up here is actually my first wife when I used to come home after when I came home after a 3-day drunk. This is exactly what she looked like.
I'll get you, Speed, and your little dog too.
If you remember my thumbnail from "Do Demons Exist?" from earlier this year, I put a whole bunch of different types of demons, like pictures.
It looks like Alice Cooper and Chucky.
And Darth
Chucky
Maul.
on the lower left.
Yeah.
Oh, Chucky when he's all grown up. That's Chucky when he grew up on the lower left.
That's the girl from The Exorcist.
Is it?
Yep.
God damn.
And the middle one is an old school one, I think. I don't remember.
It's probably Lon Chaney doing something.
Yep.
Actually, the middle one is Speed when he wakes up in the morning.
Yep. Kind of.
Why am I still alive? Why does God make me suffer?
So went and bought a Christmas tree last night at Home Depot, and all the Christmas trees were like they were all frozen, and with the branches all tucked in. So I got one, and I thought, okay, this will unthaw and the branches will fall down. But it didn't. It's still a skinny little fucking tree. It's just like, what the fuck?
Did you buy a Charlie Brown Christmas tree?
$70 for that motherfucker.
Wow.
Damn.
It looks like a fucking weird houseplant. I don't know. Hopefully it'll.
Yeah. You have one ornament on the tree. Otherwise it'll fall over.
My son was pretty upset. I was putting the tree up I had the chainsaw in the kitchen, and I was sawing boards and sawing the tree off in the kitchen.
Yeah, what do you do in your kitchen, girl?
What do you do in your kitchen?
I don't use a chainsaw in my kitchen. I can tell you that much.
It was an electric chainsaw. It was one of those fake chainsaws. It was a fake chainsaw. It wasn't even real. Not even a real one.
Like Randy says in the side chat, just keep it watered.
Yeah.
They might actually have where you could buy these little liquids that have like amino acids and whatnot that feed the tree. That might be a good idea too, if they have such a thing.
I think it'll grow. You think it'll grow into a real Christmas tree by Christmas?
Just
If
pray
you
over
believe,
it. Maybe it
if
will.
you think peppermint thoughts and believe it will.
Have y'all heard about that stuff where you take a jar of rice or a cup of water and you say nice things to it over a couple of weeks?
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, it's just complete and utter BS from what I can tell. But yeah, I don't know. That reminded me of it. Yeah, what Scott just said.
So you're supposed to love bomb water?
Yeah, pretty much. And then if you like curse at one and you say mean things to it, it rots away faster. I don't believe in any of that junk, but there are people out there saying this sort of thing.
I didn't hear it was water. I was hearing it was plants. And I think Mythbusters did a little bit of testing a while back.
I just want to respond to Ox here about killing a tree. Trees are actually really big weeds.
They must be killed. They produce oxygen. I don't like it. Get these oxygen producing machines out of here.
Exactly. Yep. We just pull them up.
You know, when it comes to atheists celebrating Christmas, like, who cares? Like, even when I was a Christian and I would have atheists say, it's a pagan holiday, I'm thinking, I'm pretty sure God knows the intent of your heart. So if you're partaking in what was founded as a pagan holiday, but you turn it around, I don't think God would really care. And since I don't believe in God, there's no God to care whether I celebrate Christmas or not. It's just a cultural thing as far as I can tell.
Yeah, to my sons who were, raised atheists, always atheists, they love Christmas because it was a big deal. You get a tree, you decorate, you decorate shit, you buy each other presents. Right. Well, in their case,
at Starbucks, so it's all a good year. All a good season.
I mean, it's good. It's fucking cool.
Yeah.
It's a great holiday.
Don't get me wrong. I don't really care for Christmas ever since I became an adult, but I do like the off days from work I get from Christmas for Christmas.
Well, it's a really neat family sort of experience. I don't know. You don't have any kids yet, do you, Gur?
No, I don't plan to have any.
Yeah, if you have kids, you'll enjoy Christmas differently.
Oh, I'm sure. I don't doubt that at all. If I did have kids, I'm sure I would enjoy a lot of things that I used to enjoy as a kid that I now.
Oh God! I just breathed. Just a big sigh of relief when you said you weren't gonna.
I was waiting for someone to say that. No, I am the punching.
You were looking at your watch, going, "Anytime now, anytime now."
I am the punching bag for this community. I just want you to.
Well, when midnight's not
around, love to be able to joke with you without you getting all upset and hurt and insulted.
Well, yeah, I don't get offended very easily.
Yeah, I just sent speaking of punching bags, I just sent an invite to Midnight, and because I'm going to shoot it in the head pretty soon, and I'm pretty sure he'll pop in. Just I'm about to do that. So.
Oh, that would be so funny.
If we could only get the timing right.
Yeah.
So is it bad to say that I have for me it's like Christmas every day? Is what I do.
That kind of takes the fun out of Christmas, doesn't it?
I don't need to have it one day a year. I have it every day.
Well, it goes back to the pie analogy. If you have a piece of pie, it's great. But if you have plate after plate after plate of pies, it loses its awesomeness.
But it's different. Things are always different. It's not eating the same pie. It's different. And there's not just pie. There's other types of desserts too.
Yeah, you have
kind of idea. I mean, a metaphor.
You have a different Christmas every day.
It's every day's a holiday for you, basically.
It is exactly.
Even though I work every day
right now, where Icarus resides.
Icarus.
So I feel like we need to break out the champagne and
000. Oh my God.
There
you go.
So does anybody know the words to that song? Because I sure don't.
Let all acquaintance be forgot. Keep your eye on the grand old flag. I don't know.
That makes me cry.
Better than what I would have said.
Yeah.
The stream is rot and it's gone to hell. Fuck YouTube now.
So speaking of seeing ghosts, when I was 3 or 4 years old, I was at my grandpa's farm, and I ran up to see his pigs out in the farmyard, and a man bear pig ape jumped up on the fence, and I ran screaming back to my mom and dad. But my memory of this thing is that it was like an ape pig. It was it was definitely a man bear pig. It was a combination of an ape and a pig, and it jumped up on the fence and stood up like an ape. And that's my memory of it. Well, later on, as I grew older with that memory, I asked questions about Grandpa, and he kept boars, like big boars, like 400 or 500 pound boars that would breed, and they were very hairy, and they had tusks, and they had, like whiskers and all that stuff. And I'm guessing one of them jumped up on the fence because he saw a juicy little morsel. I don't know if you knew this or not, but pigs will eat you if you cut yourself in the middle of a bunch of pigs, like in the field. If you're in the field,
like, who's baking now, bitch?
Yeah, they'll eat. Yeah, they'll fucking eat you.
Yeah, you can't really blame them or shame them, because think of how many strips of bacon and sausage links you've had. It's like, okay, take me, I'm guilty.
Yeah.
Well, Speed, memories can be so false. They can even be fake, not even real memories that you're misremembering. Right.
It was a manufactured memory, and I've had a lot of those. I've had a lot of, every time you tell a story, you might change it a little bit. You don't even fucking know what the real story is anymore.
Yeah, like, for example, I remember when I used to be loved and, cherished. But come to find out, that was just a manufactured memory.
Yeah. I told my kids I was an atheist when they were like 5 or 6. And then they started questioning me, and they wanted to know more about, what religion was and all that stuff. And they went through a big thing where they basically made their own decision, because by the time they were 6 years old, I had fucked with them so much. I had fucked with I basically mind fucked my kids over so many things that they didn't believe a goddamn thing I said.
That's a great relationship you have with your kids.
It was great because I taught them skepticism at an early age.
Well, that's good. I have wondered, if I did have kids, how would I raise them? Obviously, I wouldn't raise them to be Christians or theists or anything like that. But anytime they would come to me and say, "Daddy, what is Christianity, or what's a church?" I would try my best, I think, to present them the actual what's happening. Well, when people go to church, they believe that they are worshiping or admiring and speaking to a thing that they believe created them along with everything else, and that's what they do. I would try to present it that way. I would try to keep my little staunch atheist self out of the conversation as much as I could, to be fair.
Yeah, I was totally unbiased. I told them, those neighbors up the hill who, are real assholes and they're always fucking with us. Those people, they're Republicans, and they believe in, God.
They want to be in your bedroom at all times.
And if you go up there, they will probably, if they don't molest you, they will eat you.
Wait, are you talking about Republicans or Catholics?
They'll put a camera up in all the females' vaginas so that they can keep a constant monitor.
Yeah.
Of your health.
Oh, fuck. Last night, I found a new channel, not a new channel, but an old channel, a guy that does Jehovah's Witness videos. And he did this big thing on the, what do they call it? The, oh, shit. It was a tape that they did for Bethel. When you go to Bethel for Jehovah's Witnesses, it's some sort of a place in New York where I don't know what the fuck it is really. It's like a compound. And they show you this big tape about how to dress if you're a woman, how not to tempt males and make them think terrible thoughts and make them have to turn their heads away from you because your skirt is a little bit above your knee, that sort of thing. And then they went on about masturbation, and they
Yeah, you definitely don't want to masturbate in front of the women.
Oh, and
That's
then
a real no.
Rule number one.
They explained that if a man lays on a woman and simulates having sex, even if you have your clothes on, that basically that is still fornication or some fucking thing. And oh my god, it went on and on and on, and it was.
I believe it.
Did he read it like Ben Stein?
I'll be right back.
I haven't finished the whole thing yet. We might not be here when you get back.
That's right. Midnight's not coming around, so I think we can't quit until midnight gets here.
I think so. We should wait for midnight. Let me see if I can find this in my history.
Sweet.
Okay, history. This guy was really, really incredible. Oh, by the way, Fuzz Rana was just Standing for Truth.
Oh,
they premiered something, and he was going on about junk DNA, and he was getting everything wrong. I should have him on again, and we should talk about just junk DNA, because that's really. Oh, Lloyd Evans. The guy's name is Pillowgate. Okay, that's what they call it, is Pillowgate. So let's see, and I'll have to link this. Oh my.
Okay, I'm back.
Okay. So anyway, somebody leaked this tape to him, this Pillowgate tape, right? And this guy is just unbelievable. I mean, it's just the stuff he goes on about is horrible.
Pillowgate.
Oh, there was some really cool stuff from a watchtower in 1961. Let me see if I can play this.
Sex emotions are greatly aroused.
Okay, let's see. I got to go back a little bit. So anyway, they compare women to cows.
To mate. And then after the quote that Ralph Walls has just read, it says, as with a cow, when a young girl who has reached her puberty is in...
That's enough, right?
No, please keep going. My safe word is don't stop.
To conceive and become pregnant, her sex emotions are greatly aroused. If she has association with a boy, she is inclined to think that it is the sweetness of the boyfriend that causes this delightful and new feeling. And so she becomes infatuated with him. If the boyfriend should become sexually aroused and lets her know it, and then she yields her body to the advances of the amorous boyfriend, she is likely to become pregnant as a result of just one sex experience of this kind.
I've got to check out this channel.
Yeah. Okay. So then let's see this guy.
Unclean habit of self-abuse or masturbation. This involves the deliberate stimulation of the genital organs.
You lost me. I'll never join.
So now we're into the masturbation stuff. And mercifully, the material on masturbation in Ralph's talk is quite short compared to the amount of material in the talk to follow, which is directed at men. In fact, if I'm counting the material, the number of seconds in total.
Let's go on a little bit.
Upon pornography accidentally. This world has made it easy for that to happen. But if one intentionally practices exposing oneself to such harmful images, that may lead to such uncleanness.
And that's it.
I don't want to be clean.
Pretty much.
Oh, this video is good. I'll link it. I'll link it for everybody to enjoy. But this is the video that they show you when you enter this Bethel thing, whatever in the hell it is for Jehovah's Witnesses, and it's amazing. And he goes on and on about how women need to dress a certain way, otherwise the poor men will become aroused and they won't know what to do with the arousal. And like he's basically a rape apologist. And it's just like, fuck. Wow. And then he did another interview yesterday. I think it's a new one about a guy that left the Jehovah's Witnesses, and he worked with them in their hospitals, where he watched a number of young women die of childbirth because they needed a blood transfusion. And this Lloyd asked him, he said, well, how many people are we talking about? Dozens or hundreds? And he said, no, thousands of Jehovah's Witnesses die as a result of refusing a blood transfusion because of one little line in the Bible that says something about blood or some fucking thing.
Yeah, you shouldn't drink blood, is what it says.
Yeah, you shouldn't drink blood. And it's just, oh my God. You know, the only brush I've had with Jehovah's Witnesses is, you know, they like back in 2000, they stopped over here and they kept coming back for some reason, trying to tell me that lions were going to eat grass and like all this fucking crazy ass bullshit. And I was like fucking with them, you know, just, I don't know. It's just, but these guys are really, I mean, they're like the ultimate in fucked up. I've never seen anything quite like it. I don't know.
Isn't it weird how all the Abrahamic religions and subsets of that religion all focus so much on sex?
I know. They're obsessed with it.
It's like I do wonder what is the actual psychology of that. Like why? Like obviously all these religions are BS, but why do they all focus so much on sex? Like what's the taboo about that
okay,
tend to feel?
I think it's kind of built into our nature to seek out like sexual I mean even fetishes, things that are forbidden. If you forbid something, right, then it's our nature to kind of push the boundary and risk our own life to have sex with somebody if it's forbidden, right? Like you'll cross a tribal line or something like that. And it has something to do, I think, possibly. And of course, this is evolutionary psychology and people hate this shit. But it's like there seems to be a tendency for us to get excited about anything that is forbidden. And so think about where sex is the most forbidden is to Christians. And it makes it just constantly on their mind. I mean, everything they see as sexual perversion, and they kind of, in a weird way, they're kind of getting off on it. Like we had these neighbors, they owned a dairy farm, and I've talked about them before, and they were like really religious, and I think they were Jehovah's Witnesses, and they didn't have a TV, and they couldn't dance and all that stuff, but they were constantly talking about their fucking cow vaginas. And, you know, like the cows having sex, and they were just obsessed with it. And then when I got a girlfriend
Tuesday night.
Yeah, when I got a girlfriend in 8th grade, this friend of mine, one of the boys was a really close friend because he was an intellect, you know, so I could talk to him on the bus. And he was about 3 years older than me, and all he wanted to know was what I did with my girlfriend. And he was really creepy about it. He really creeped me out. And it's like, why do you want to know what I did with my girlfriend? It's like, I don't think I want to have this conversation with you, Joe. And I love the man. He had a lot to do. He taught me a lot while I was growing up. But goddamn, when he got creepy like that, I just.
I think Paul here, or is his name Pavel? I can never remember.
He goes by Paul.
Yeah, Paul comes up with a good point here. Is the ability to shame people into control.
Yeah, control them, control women. I mean, they basically the whole beginning of this video is nothing about controlling. Well, then further on in the video, he tells people that even if you're married, if you sext each other, if you send sex messages on your phone, that you're committing a sin. You're sinning, basically. You're unclean. Like talking sexually to your wife over the phone or by text.
Wait, even if you talk to your wife like that over the phone?
Yep, he says that in this video. And I think later on he tells you the proper way that you should behave in the bedroom. Missionary only.
They should really hire Ben Stein to do those.
Yes.
Those videos.
Yeah. He'd be perfect. But I'm just creeped out by these people. It's just I don't know. I'm an anti-theist for all these reasons.
Same.
You know. So
there's so many reasons I'm an anti-theist. That happens to be one of them.
Yep. So how about we shoot her in the head, guys?
Hopefully midnight will come in right as you hit the outro.
Yeah, that'd be perfect. Okay. Anyway, we're done for the day. Goodbye, cruel world. Oh, taking tomorrow off. I'll be back Friday.
I'll be streaming tomorrow.
I'm going to start. Oh, good. I'm going to start slacking more.
It's probably good for your mental health, isn't it?
Sometimes it is, and I have a lot of work to do, so I'm trying to get my work done. So anyway, molecular biology is a lot. Oh, by the way, there'll be a quiz tomorrow on that organic chemistry stuff I taught you guys.
Okay.
Good thing I'll be busy on my own stream with Rebecca.
No, not tomorrow. Friday. Okay, we're going to postpone quiz Friday. Okay. Anyway, I hope that was helpful because all that shit. I mean, that shit is not that complicated if you just know a few rules, you know. So anyway, goodbye, cruel world.